So my name is Vlad. I'm the head of AnyLogic 8 development team. Next to me is Anastasia, the AnyLogic 8 libraries product manager.
Hello, guys.
Yeah. So today we are going to share our progress in terms of AnyLogic 8 development since the last AnyLogic conference. So what was done, what is now in progress, and share our plans on future. And for sure, we want to show you a live demo of newest features of our AnyLogic industrial libraries. So yeah, all our talk will be divided into two parts. So the first part will be an overview, and the next session will be the demo. So after each session, we will have a Q&A part. So please don't hesitate to write your questions in the chat. Okay, so to begin with, let's take a brief look on our roadmap. So as you can see, since the last AnyLogic conference, we have released 7 versions of AnyLogic. Yeah, we are on trend of our frequent releases. So we have 6 minor ones and 1 measure. So let's discuss it a bit. So our measure build, our recent build, AnyLogic 8.8, has 1 big feature as the support of Java 11. Yeah, so we updated the language level to 11. Why it is important? So we want to update our tech stack. We want to be on a more modern base, on modern infrastructure. We want to reduce the number of legacy in our code. And for sure, we want to be able to add new security updates. And for sure, we want to use the new language features. So just among them, I want to say that there are a lot of things updated in API, for example, string API, collection API, some options and streams issues. Also, Java 11 brings us a new HTTP client. I don't know if it's useful for AnyLogic models, but why not? And so right now, as you can see, in AnyLogic, you could use all this stuff and have a syntax highlight, all Java docs. Yeah, for example, you can see the Java doc for strip function. Yeah, the update of the trim function from Java 8 with support of Unicode. But one thing I would like to mention is that Java 11 supports the so-called reserved keyword war, and you can use it to make your code more laconic, to take advantage of compile type deductions. But as advice, please don't overuse it because it could bring some mess to your code. Your code could begin less understandable, and for sure, even the type deduction could play a joke with you. So please be careful, But one could ask us why we are moving to Java 11, not Java 17 or something else. Yes, so Java 11 was released when I was not born. But for us, it's like a step-by-step increase. So we want to move to the second long-term support Java version, and for sure we need to be compatible with our AnyLogic products. So, for example, as you know, you could export model into cloud, and so if you're using the Java version, for example, 25, you need the cloud to be supported. So that's why now we are in Java 11, but Java 17 is our future goal, so we don't want to stop on 11. We're going forward. As we already mentioned about cloud, one more feature I would like to present. On the last ILC, we have a discussion about the new feature, so-called files output. So as a quick recap, file is output is a feature when you can select a file in a configuration, so as an output. You could export your model into cloud, and after execution, all the results written in this file would be available for downloading on the cloud dashboard. So right now this feature is already released and ready for use. So just enjoy it. As for features, we are working right now on our tech side is GIS. So I think the most important feature for GIS it's its user experience. So one thing I could mention is the updated smooth so-called float scale, instead of discrete one. So for sure, to give an ability for floating scale, we need to work on the performance of our tile manager. So we need to handle some tile loss checks, tile preloading. For example, we need to support such things as hysteresis. So what it means, you could, for example, scale your map a bit up, then scale it a bit down, and then once again scale it a bit up. And if you will redraw all the frames, requests, it will be like a huge delays in performance. And for this issue, we implemented a special caching technology. And for sure, even if we have a good performance on our backend side, we need to get rid of visual artifacts. So a lot of work on the visual side was done. Another big thing we are working right now, and it is like a research and development, is an updates in Alper format. So just say, if you look into your model folder, you will find only one single file describing your model. It could be rather big file. It depends on the size of your model. But I suppose only simple model have like small LP files. It is based on XML format. And just to say, it's very complex in terms of teamwork, version control, reviewing it. So it consists of all data, like you have geometry, variables, functions, anything. So due to this fact, requests we receive from you some feedback and our internal requests, we are thinking about how we could make the teamwork easier, how we could add the inbox version control system, and just to say how to split this data by its containment, because I think it's really rather easy even to develop model with not a single file, but with like a project. One indirect goal for this we have is ability to give in our libraries an ability to give user option to create their markup. So it's not like a direct goal, but I think that the splitting of data could help us to add some markup creation tools. As for implementation, right now we are still gathering all information and details, so it's sure it's R&D. And as we already mentioned AnyLogic libraries, I would like to give a word to Anastasia to tell about our industrial libraries.
Okay, thank you, Vlad, very much for telling us about what is hidden behind the curtain of AnyLogic and in AnyLogic core. On the top of all of these things, there are standing the things that our users are facing every day. And I think that our libraries are the biggest part of such things. So first of all, this year we focused a lot on the different features that could be used to improve and make it more easier to simulate warehouses. So, and as the first step, we created the storage markup element. With this element, using just one of instances, you can create a large store warehouses. As you can see in the screen, you need just to take the markup element to the canvas, set the number of racks and base that you need, and select the rack type and rack placement that fits your warehouse. And that's it. Your warehouse layout is ready. Currently, AnyLogic supports two types of warehouses, two types of racks and warehouses. These are selective ones and drive-in ones. And I also put here the pellet flow racks because they will be available in the next version. So we can say that actually they are almost here, guys. And I will take more about them in my future slides. So we can dive inside it a bit later. Okay, and okay, nice slide with the drive-in racks where transporters can come inside the rack and store their loads. And to support the work of this element, we also added store and retrieve flowchart blocks. These blocks contains all the logic that it takes for resources or transporters from taking the agent from original position to the storage, and also to take the item from the storage and put it in the target location. So by doing this, we could shorten your flowcharts, and at the same time, it stays quite easy to understand. Okay. The second feature that was awaited for a long time by our users is reversible conveyors. Finally, I'm happy to announce that this year we released it and already got some positive feedback on this. And first of all, you can use it to model the inside the buffers inside conveyor lines, as well as conveyors that infeed and outfeed the stations that are located a bit aside from the main line. So to reverse the conveyor, they should be defined as reversible. And when you do this, after that, these conveyors can be reversed in the model runtime by using API. I also want to highlight here that these types of conveyors can be connected to conveyor network by turntables, transfer tables, spurs. So all the connections that we have in AnyLogic in conveyor networks are available. Okay. And let's return back to the warehouses. As I already mentioned, the nearest version of AnyLogic will come with two types of pellet racks. We call them FIFO and LIFO rack types. However, they usually represent the gravity or pushback racks that you frequently can see in different warehouses. These are types of racks that have like special tools inside them, or just the incline, so that the agents can move inside the storages by their own. So as you can see in the left video, the items are being put inside the rack, and after that they are moving under the gravity force to the another side of the rack. And so this is also the new feature that you can place the agent from one rack side and retrieve it from the other. Another significant addition in the nearest version will be the ability to use the preliminary reservation of cell. So now, if you need to reserve the location of the particular cell in the storage before the item will be actually put inside the storage, you can do this. And you do not need to cancel reservation right before the resource or the transporter comes to the storage. Your reservation can be used inside the store block. Okay. Well, we always talk that material handling library is our first priority. That's true. And we are focusing on supporting the simulations of industrial facilities and warehouses. because for long years, AnyLogic was quite weak in this field. But currently, at the time, we are constantly improving other libraries. We always add some minor improvements to our fluid, pedestrian, traffic road libraries, and so on. And here I want to present the much more bigger feature that can be used for the users who simulate pedestrian flows. And this is, of course, elevator. And why elevator? We keep receiving a lot of questions from our users, from our clients, how to make the lift. And probably I'm sure there are some of you who already typed this question to our support team. And probably you got the answer like, please use a delay and pen change level block. Probably you ended with making your own custom logic and making the lift from the scratch by own. But we hope that after several releases of AnyLogic, you can just look inside the pedestrian library palette and understand how to make the elevator, how to add it inside your product, because it will be super easy. And currently, we created the markup element that you can drop in your agent, and it will automatically join all the levels that represent floors inside this agent. Usually it's main, of course, you can also specify the specific levels if it's needed, because we know that sometimes lifts, for example, can serve only parking floors, not all other floors. And to use bind this markup element to the flowchart, you will need the ped elevator block. This block will contain all the logic of pedestrians moving to the lift area, waiting for the arrival of the lift, and traveling to destination floor. So all the things you needed to make by yourself before will be encapsulated in just one block, and once again it will make your flowchart more compact and very easy to understand. Finally, I want to say here that the elevator will have the built-in logic of dispatching, of governing all the calls that it receives from the different floors and from the persons inside the cabins. But if there are any users who want to test their own lift algorithms, custom algorithms, they can do this by using code and by API methods. And so they can easily manually dispatch this lift. Okay. Finally, let's return back to the material handling library. And there are two features that we are going to add to this library soon. Probably you know that a long time ago we had ambitious plans on creating maintenance profiles in AnyLogic. And as the first step, we added the downtime block that can be easily attached to resources. And this block governs the plant maintenances, the plant repairments, and possible failures of resources. But lately we think that actually material handling equipment is the same resource. So there is no difference between it and between, for example, transporter, crane, or mere resource, actually. So why do not attach this downtime block to all this stuff? And so that's how we see this problem right now, and we want to continue in this way in the future. Okay. The second feature that we want to add is the priority path of intersections for path-guided transporters. We got these questions from our clients, so we want to fulfill their needs. And here we have like such a problem. Imagine when there are several transporters that approach one intersection. One transporter is holding very urgent load. Another one is going home. Just one more is going to take its load from some distant location. On the top of it, you have like some other AGV type or forklift type. And once more, you have, for example, a pedestrian who approaches this intersection as well. So who should be the first to go through this intersection? Who should be the second? Who should be the last? Right now, it's a bit complicated, right? And also on the top of it, we have some collision avoidance logic, and someone already uses restricted area logic. So in many cases, this problem is quite complicated, and we want to make it more easy to understand, to use for the guys who face these problems. Okay. Finally, there is one more element that is frequently seen in industrial environments, but is not implemented yet in material handling library. Without it, we guess that the library is incomplete. So what do you think is this element? Actually, these are robot manipulators or so-called pickup robots. So these robots are frequently used, as you know, in any industrial environment, especially in automotive factories, in large-story warehouses. So currently, we are gaining all the requests from our users to understand the needs that you have in your models, in your simulations. And please write to me if you have any questions, any requests, any expectations on this feature. So please contact me or our support team. We will be glad to know your opinion about it. Thank you. And Vlad, please continue. What do you have next?
Yeah, we have one more last thing. I think it's last but not the least. So on our talks, we always speak about big features. Yeah, so by big here we mean the impact, the coverage, yes, or the user value. But there are some mostly not so notable things, but important too is like a small features. Yes, so during our work, we receive a lot of requests, bug fixes, small features. Yes, let's call everything of it requests. Yeah, from different sources, like user feedback, requests, training, seminars, supports, our own requests. Such events as conferences, yeah, like AnyLogic Conference for sure. Yeah, and each our build, minor or even major, comes always with some stuff, some small stuff, yeah, we work on, and you can see it in our release notes, yeah, and it's not all things we do while developing our builds, but to tell the truth, part of this small, yeah, so from user perspectives, that's user value amount, kind of things, could be related to a huge development work, yeah. So with invisible internal work under the hood. So when you guys saw only the top of the iceberg, yeah. Why so? So when we are developing each request, we are thinking of our development infrastructure, of all the constraints we have, and with constraints could be like a performance side, it could be a consistency, because even one small feature could break the consistency of something big already planned. Yeah, so we need to think about support of this feature. So how long we will need it. Yeah, so it's so-called long-term value. And according to these facts, sometimes we could just postpone the request, which could be very small. Yes, we think, oh, it's like very easy to fix it. But yeah, it's some logic. We always appreciate the feedback we receive. Yeah, and always want to make our product better. But according to mentioned about things, we can't do all this stuff. Yeah, so please take it into consideration. Yeah, and be sure we never forget anything. Yeah, and as already mentioned, let's talk about our future plans. So right now we planned release of with support of LIFO, FIFO, or so-called gravity and pushback policies for storages. I suppose we will be able to release it at the end of October. And afterwards, we have plans for the end of the year and the first half of the second year, 2023. And for sure, we think about the releases with elevators. So we want to create an MVP of the new LP format. The things already mentioned by Anastasia with material handling equipment, yeah, and the priority intersection. For sure, we'll do some bug fixes and some minor releases will be done, and something more. And so I think it's all from this part of view. So I think we are ready for the demo, but first let's have a Q&A session.
Okay, let me see the questions that came. Vlad, can you
yes, so the first question about GIS, yeah, we use the OpenStreetMap. So right now we're not thinking about like our libraries, but maybe in future. Yeah, so another question about the help window for beginners. Yeah, sure, we have offline help and we have online help. So example model. So I think everything to start with working with AnyLogic.
Okay, the next question is probably for me from Abadi Afera Guza. Okay, hopefully I read it correctly. What about for special feature stores like Call Store? Actually, we have a lot of ideas on further improvements of the storages. We didn't consider Call Store, but if there will be a lot of users with this request, we will consider to add it inside our product. Or probably we can also give you the clue how to create it inside the current AnyLogic as well. So please write to me directly or to our support team with your requests about this feature. Okay. Okay, the next one is from Sohaila Antar about elevator and its characteristics. Of course, we will have the capacity of elevator, and I will show it in the demo in the next section. But about weight, no, currently it won't support weight because we do not have these type of properties within the pedestrian self. So currently, the most physics we have is dimensions of the objects, like size. So not weight won't be supported right now. And what about the algorithm for the priority in agent pickup? Currently, we are using very simple so-called lift algorithm, so that the lift is going in one direction and it serves all the calls that are made in the same direction. So probably if so if the agent if the elevator goes from the first floor, for example, to the 10th floor up, and there will be the pedestrians who are also want to go from the second floor to the 4th floor, or for 5th floor to the 7th floor. So in the same direction, the lift will pick up all these passengers. So after that, it will change direction and serve the other pedestrians. But I would like to mention once again, if you have more complicated algorithms of lift in your real system, you can do it by using many API. Yeah.
So what was the goal of this API here? To give an ability to write your own algorithm, yeah, because AnyLogic is a universal tool and we don't know the custom cases. So we provide like a more common one, and if you need some customization, for sure you could do it with our API. Do you have something else?
Okay, about elevator already answered.
Yeah, we have a question about this ILP new format. Yes, so yeah, I suppose that it will be like a multiple files because one big file with all data you need is really hard for teamwork. It's hard for gathering diffs via any control version. So I prefer we'll split it into the parts.
Okay, yes, another question. Will there be some further improvements of storage functionality? Yes, so we have some, I would say, already in work, at least in my, so I am making a concept of these features. For example, like filling the recs at the model start, so that you do not need to make it by flowchart or by code. So you just need to put the number of agents that already wait inside the store, and they are already there. And some other improvements also will come. Okay.
Yeah, also I saw some question about Python. Yes, so are we going to develop some Python base instead of Java? So on the last conference, we presented the ability to use a Python in a build. So we created test build, and we have like a moderate answers and decided what we really are going to use Java. Yes, so we are not thinking about Python right now.
Okay, another one. Any plans on developing a new library after completing the core functionality of MHL? Right now, we do not have such plans on adding new libraries because we have a lot of things to improve after we complete MHL. There are a lot of minor improvements in all libraries that we make all the time, and there are a lot of them that we can make in the future actually. But if there will be a lot of requests from our users to create, for example, mining library, or I don't know, gas spreading library, or construction library, we will of course consider it. So just if you have any requests, guys, please do not hide it inside yourself. Please contact product owners, me, and first of all, me in case of AnyLogic 9. This is Yulia Turopina. You will see her in the next hour speech. And that's it. Please contact us.
Yes, I think it's time for demo. And after the demo, we will ask, we will answer all our questions. Yes.
Okay, so first of all, I would like to show you how the storage element works. And so you can move it from the palette to the your canvas. And here you can spread it on the area of your warehouse and set the needed number of racks, of bays, for example. You can set the width of the shelves and all other things actually. And also you can, when you set the dimensions of the racks, you also can switch to other mode and stretch it upon the whole the area of your warehouse, and AnyLogic will create the racks and base automatically. And after that, you can select the rack type that you need. For right now, in my version, I already have all the 4 types: selective, drive-in, LIFO, and FIFO rack that is used for gravity racks especially. And as you see, it automatically changed to single by rack, because you understand that there is no meaning in back-to-back racks configuration for FIFO flow. So let me show you like back-to-back configuration as well. And after that, I just click the button to create the storage network, and that's it. My layout for warehouse is ready. Okay, but a bit lower, I have the pre-prepared model, and here I already have the storage with set number of racks, number of shelves, and because I want to model the gravity rack, I also have an incline of the shelves. And I have transporters that will take the items from the docks and put it inside the rack, gravity rack. And after that, I have the picker who will receive the orders from the line, and to fulfill it, this picker will take the items from the storage. So to make it work, I need only to add the store block, and here all the things that I need to do is to define the resource or transporter that will take agents to the store, and to define the storage where I need to put these items. Also, I can set the preferred slotting policy that I need in my model. And at the same time, it's very easy to simulate the retrieve process. In this case, I also need only to select the resource type that I use for this purpose, and to tell the target location of the item that is taken from the storage. And that's all. So let's see how it works in runtime. Okay, so I'll speed up a bit. So as you can see, transporters are taking items to the store and putting them inside the shelf, and items themselves are moving on the rack to the other edge. And all of this functionality is done fully by the material handling library, so there is no code on moving the items from the from the docks to storage, or for moving the items inside the rack. So you can see that the items are moving smoothly by their own to the another edge. Also, once I make the work for picker, I'll slow down a bit. And the picker takes the item from the shelf. The other items that remain in the rack, they automatically move to the edge. So like in real life. So currently, finally, we can say that AnyLogic supports gravity racking as well. Also, I want to feature here that here I have the reversible conveyor. As you can see, the box is coming to picker from one side and from main line, and as soon as it is ready to be sent back to the main line, the reversible conveyor is reversed and the item goes backwards. That's all. And the second thing we showed today, also we presented today, is of course elevators. And I saw there was a big interest in this topic because of the chat. There was a lot of reactions. Thank you for this. And here I have the very simplistic model with several levels that represent floors. And I have the elevate element only on the one level, but it automatically connects all the floors in this main agent. So of course, if I do not need to join all the floors, I can select some particular ones here. But in my case, I will left it as it is right now. Also, I have different properties that are specific for elevators, like capacity, speed, time, speed, and minimum stay time. Minimum stay time contains the time of opening and closing the door, and it will be the minimal time that elevator stands on the floor. For example, if there is only one passenger who comes inside it and there is no passengers to wait for. And to make it work in the flowchart, I need just to put the pet elevator block. And here I just need to define the elevator that pedestrian will use to travel to another floor, and to define the floor where the elevator wants to go. And that's it. So once again, let's run the model and see how it works. So, okay, so pedestrians. Okay, so here we have the elevator and like a large shaft. Shaft is drawn automatically, but if you do not want to draw it or want to draw it by yourself, you can define it in the properties of the lift. So as you can see, it automatically serves all the pedestrians, and that's it. So in case if you want to test your own elevator dispatching rules, you can use the API methods and another option. You can see here like drop-off pets function. We'll also have pick-up pets function. So by using this function, you can move the elevator to the target floor, the target that you define, or not that is defined by the library logic. And okay, and move the elevator manually. So it is probably, it can be used not only for the cases when you need to test the elevator dispatching rules, but also in the cases of some disruptions. For example, because of the electricity failure, when the elevator can move only to the nearest floor. And after that, it needs to drop off all the pedestrians. And also, for example, in the case of earthquakes, where some lifts are going to the predefined floor, and also where it drop off all its passengers. Okay, it's all from my side right now. So.
Okay, so
okay, we will have the second section of Q&A questions right now. So let me see what questions came. Algorithms, okay.
So I think there was a question about the new libraries, yeah, after we finish.
I already answered, yes,
right?
already answered, yeah.
Okay.
So we have a question about, it would be nice if forklift 3D object could move forks up and down. Currently, our 3D presentation models doesn't afford the movement of the the parts of these elements on their own, but of course using code you can do it, and probably in the future we will add such functionality so that the animation will look more realistic. One more question. Do you know when the palletizing animation will be available, and possibly reshelving of the pallet back to the dogs? Could you please write more about this question, because actually I'm not sure that I get you right. If you mean the replenishment process, so when you can use the when you can use a store and retrieve blocks side by side next to each other, it is possible right now. So you can put all the items in the shelf, and after that you can take them from the shelf to the some position. There is no problem in it. Another question is about elevator. Is it currently available for pedestrians only? Is it possible to use it for other agents, cars, for example? Currently, we have already in AnyLogic, we have the lifts element in material handling library. And this is used to transport items, for example, in different conveyor levels to connect them. And these lifts also can be used by transporters of material handling library, but those lifts can serve only material handling objects, and they are limited with capacity of only one agent, one transporter or one agent that travels by this lift. It has completely different logic. So we do not want to mix it with the new pedestrian elevators. And the elevators that we create, they will be used only for pedestrians, because they are they contained in pedestrian library, and so they are strictly only for this purpose. Okay. So, but in your case, probably you can model the cars by transporters and use the material handling lift for your purpose.
Yeah, one more question is about the scaling of the simulation. Do you mean the distributed computing here or something else? Because just to say, first of all, we have a cloud as a product for computing of complex models. Yes, so AnyLogic itself is a desktop application, and fortunately, we do not have a big support of parallel computing here in terms of the complexity of internal models we have. Yes, so all our algorithms are really hard to implement in such way. So yeah, we could have such plans. We think about it, but it's not the way how AnyLogic works now. So it's for distributed computing. I would say rather no, but we plan it.
Okay. Okay, a few more questions on libraries. Is there any plan to improve the features to model container terminals, for example, containers, RTD, and logic for container yard storage? Yes, we have such plans, and they are coming very close with material handling improvements, because we see because some cranes that are used in the port, they look like overhead cranes that we already added in our product. So we sure that they can be used in container terminal models. Also about RTG, please correct me or if I'm wrong, but I think that they are quite close to the transporters that we have right now. So please, if you have any problems with modeling RTG with transporters, please send this information for me, and we will think what we can add to support these units. And another question is you are going to is there going to be a capability to add SRS? This is the part of warehouse system. Yes, this will when we finish all the types of warehouses. We will look at which which part of the library to strengthen next. So, of course, we consider these requests as well. We already have them in our roadmap, but not for the nearest time. Thank you. Yes, and one more. Do you have a plan to develop Kiva-type warehouse robots? Okay, at the very beginning, when we just started to create material handling library, we considered to add this type of I would say we considered about this about robots. However, after we made path-guided transporters and free space transporters, we didn't get any requests on this type of robots again. So that's why we put it a bit, this request a bit aside, this idea. So if you have this type of robots on your industry floor, or you want to model them, please contact us, and we will consider to adding it inside the product. So, any more questions? Okay, let me probably share a bit our product, and I want to show you the how to use the reversible conveyor logic. Okay. So here in my model, I have, as I already told, I have a reversible conveyor, and originally it runs in the direction to the picker, and I can see it by highlighted line, highlighted arrow. And when the picking process is done, I just simply I change the direction of the conveyor by using set direction method. Also, I can use another method that is called change direction if you understand that there can't be can't be any disruption to your process, and you know that you have only two events that can change direction in your model. And once the item, the load is going from the picking station and enters the main conveyor, I direct the conveyor backwards using the similar API. So this works like this. So let's see once again in detail. So as you can see, the item goes here, and after that it goes backwards, and just in two couple of lines of code. And that's all. So very easy. Okay.
Yeah, so we have like a questions to confirm about the Python. Yeah, for sure. We decided to focus on Java development. Yeah, so as for Python, for example, we have a cloud Python API, but no Python code in AnyLogic itself.
Are there any plans for telecom library? Oh, it's interesting question. Actually, it's the first time I'm hearing about. I'm getting such requests. Please type to me in the detail what you are interested about. What things you think can be inside the telecom library. Probably our current functionality already faces your needs, and there is no need to create a special library for it. Probably this is actually can become a big new feature for us in some future.
Yeah, so it depends on the request. So we need the requirements to understand what is really easy.
Okay, guys, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for testing today. Goodbye.